One thing I don't want to happen is the conversations become totally different from when the conversation started.
Which
the
is
conversation was started by me simply saying or trying to say this. Ain't a problem in the world you're going to solve by not talking about the problem. So to go down this narrative, yeah, but it's a little better here, a little bit. No. This is an America issue. Because the Supreme Court ruling that just happened, it didn't happen for the South. It happened for every state.
Right.
This is an America issue. And you can't not have these conversations, especially when someone attempts to have the conversation and you try to say, oh, he lying or he just saying that because he ain't there no more. Because the conversation make you uncomfortable.
Lane said he really apologized if anybody at Ole Miss or in Mississippi was offended by that. That's what he said in a 4-hour interview.
All the way here.
Memphis 10.
Memphis 10 in this
Dirty Dime.
You already know what's up. Yeah, Uncle Neely in the house.
Let's go, pregame show from New Orleans, all the way from New Orleans.
Yeah. Understand me. Unc, you want to leave us? You got something for us on this?
Oh, yeah, man. I got something for us because people acting brand new out here in these streets. Chico, I happen to be born and raised in Mississippi. You happen to be born and raised in Alabama. Both of those states are in the South. Both of those states are located in America. And sometimes, Chico, racism in America can become so intertwined that when you speak against racism, people will think you're speaking against America. Because the lines get so blurred because of the history. What does that have to do with football? I'll tell you what it has to do with football. Lane Kiffin, LSU coach, former coach at Ole Miss, recently did an interview, and he brought up the challenges of recruiting to Ole Miss, and that there were times that parents or grandparents would say, do I really want to send my child, insert black child, to Oxford, Mississippi? Now, there's been pushback out there, man. Oh, he just saying that because he left. He wouldn't say that while he was there. All those things can have merit, Chico, but that doesn't mean that what he said is not true. I have been involved for more years than I can count, helping Jackson State, my dear old college home recruit. And on many occasions, I've gotten asked, what is it really like living in Mississippi? And I have to explain to them that Jackson ain't like the rest of Mississippi. Black sheriff, black police chief, black city council, black folks. Like it ain't like but you get those questions even in 2026 or in 2024, 25, whatever it was that Coach Kiffin was referring to. But I find it interesting the number of people inside and outside the state who want to act like Coach Kiffin is making this up. And what that says to me is, if you believe that, black, white, young, or whatever, then you just believe black folks got amnesia and don't remember nothing. Like a lot of these things that happened in our rich history in this country, people are still alive from.
Right.
You're not talking 100, 150 years ago. You're talking 50 years ago. Hell, I'm 55. Coach Brian about to be 6. Like people were alive during this. Now, should he or could he have said it while he was at Ole Miss? Could have, should have, and that would have helped move the needle further. Because he would have been in a position as the head coach of Ole Miss to say, hey, man, we got to do something to clean up our perception around the country because we're losing potential recruits because I keep getting this question. That probably would have been the best leadership role to do it at the time.
Yeah.
But that don't mean he lying. And then that don't mean LSU don't have the same issues because listen to this, Chico, and this is just history. This is just knowledge. One of the most, for lack of a better word, brutal units that fought for the South was the Louisiana Tigers in the Civil War. And that's how LSU got its mascot name, was named after them.
Mm.
We're all tied to it.
Yep.
And there's efforts now trying to erase it, gerrymandering districts, all that. We can have a conversation on that later.
Yep.
But my point is, when I saw people actually suggesting that somehow Lane Kiffin is lying, you don't talk to black folks, do you?
Mm. Now, when I said that, I know you kind of was joking with me, because I was saying this because of my perception when I was getting recruited by schools in Mississippi, and that was exactly my thoughts. And I came from next door in Alabama. Now, I didn't visit Mississippi a lot, so everything was just perception, and which I think that a lot of parents of these players that he recruited came from that same kind of thought process of, well, is it like this in Mississippi? Because this is what I heard. Is it like this, And I think he's factual about this, because it's true. So I think him going down to LSU will open up more doors for him. I think he feels like, but just that perception of Ole Miss and the Rebels, and I think he has a point, dog. And I don't think a school like Mississippi State or Ole Miss, especially even now in this NIL era, I don't think they're going to be able to attract the consistent amount of players enough to win and compete for championships on a championship level each and every year, because of that reason right there. You can go right across the road to Alabama, which I think have worked on a lot. They worked on that perception a lot, as far as racial and stuff. In Tuscaloosa, I think they worked on that a lot by winning football games at Alabama.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, winning football games with black bodies. I thought you were talking about some governmental efforts.
No, because it's still there.
That's where me and you go chat back and forth. Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, it is all the same.
It's all the same. It's all the same. So that's why I kept saying perception. And
Ole Miss made it. Ole Miss made it as far as they made it last year, because Lane Kiffin is an excellent recruiter, excellent coach. Right. And he was able, just like Nick Saban, to get people to look past certain things and come.
But could he have done that on a consistent basis at Ole Miss?
We don't know, but we know he did it.
I think
that was his team in the playoffs.
Feel like
right?
Yeah. But
one thing I don't want
done
to
that for the next 5 years is what I'm saying.
I'm not trying to bridge your thoughts. One thing I don't want to happen is the conversation become totally different from when the conversation started.
Which
the conversation was started by me simply saying, or trying to say this: ain't a problem in the world you're gonna solve by not talking about the problem. So to go down this narrative, there's a little better here, a little bit. No. This is an America issue. Because the Supreme Court ruling that just happened, it didn't happen for the South, it happened for every state.
Right.
This is an America issue. And you can't not have these conversations, especially when someone attempts to have the conversation and you try to say, oh, he lying, or he just saying that because he ain't there no more. Because the conversation make you uncomfortable.
Lane said he really apologized if anybody at Ole Miss or in Mississippi was offended by that. That's what he said in a 4-hour interview. He said, let me see, that's a narrative that coaches have been fighting forever. It wasn't calculated by bringing it up, Kiffin said. And
it just is what it is. And trust me, I have represented players at Louisiana State University. Might be having one on next week, totally different from this subject. They got the same issues. You have people who are in other parts of the neighboring South, and they understand Louisiana's history. You got people that understand Mississippi's history, Alabama's history.
So do you think that it was just a lateral move for him, is what you're saying? Like going from Ole Miss to LSU? He's going to have the same issues, same problems?
No, again, Chico, now you're trying to, now the conversation becomes something that the conversation wasn't supposed to be about. No, that wasn't no lateral move. LSU is a premier football job. Ole Miss is not. That's not what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm talking
about lateral move.
But as far as
All
in the
I'm simply
South goes
saying,
and
all I'm
racially,
simply saying to you is every state in the South and even every state in the nation got blood on his hands. Now, people
yes,
could try to make like Mississippi got more, but it was 9 little girls in the basement of a church in Alabama.
yeah, I
The
don't think
list
it's
can go
more
on and on. Again, so we're not trying to compare it. I'm literally talking about a head coach saying this was an issue I faced coaching a school in Mississippi, and people saying he lying. That's what I'm talking about. I know he ain't lying because I faced it at an HBCU in Mississippi. And I know people who faced it trying to get people to come to Tuskegee in Mississippi. I mean, in Alabama.
because of the
The
perception.
issue I'm trying to get us to understand is not talking about it don't solve it.
So, are we talking about it right now, guys? I'm trying to talk about it right now. Y'all let us know in the chat what y'all feel, what y'all think about this situation right here. Lane Kiffin and his comments on recruiting and Ole Miss and Mississippi and black players and so on. Let us know what y'all think in the comment section. We should revisit this, I'm sure, on another episode of TMR Live with Uncle Damn Chico.
Tara C. Harris, managing partner of the Cochran firm Jackson, is one of the premier litigators in the United States. Dedicated to furthering the values of Johnny Cochran, Harris believes attorneys have a duty to restore voice to the silenced and give justice to the wronged.
The reason that you are a member of the Cochran firm is that you share my commitment to excellence to our clients.
Harris's success is credited to a set of core values shared by his team of attorneys, professionals, and staff.
You've proven to me that you care and you want to do the best job for all of our clients.
I'm here to make sure that they have a voice.
Named one of the top 10 trucking lawyers with a $150 million settlement, Terrace Harris continues to prove that he is committed to obtaining the best possible outcome for his clients.